Atmanamaste, dear soul crafters. Welcome to my exclusive podcast, Soul Crafting with Tanushri, Crafting Your Inner Awareness. Hi, I'm Tanushri Nair, your energy transformation and mindset specialist, an author of the book Bring Out That Red Lipstick, and an energy worker. I'm also an ICF approved life coach. I'm on a mission to enable 100,000 women to discover their innate feminine energy balance through my Inner Shakti blueprint in 90 days. I'm thrilled to bring out this special Soul Sunday series episode of this podcast, season one, the Awakening series. As the old wise saying goes, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. This podcast is for all those people who are in the daily grind of life and who have forgotten to take a pause and smell the proverbial roses. For those who need a hand to learn self mastery of their thoughts, emotions, and inner self. I'm learning too and would like to share this journey with all my fellow listeners. Together, we can go miles. The Soul Sunday series is a special curated guest speaker series. We invite inspiring guests who have successfully converted their adversities to opportunities and transformed themselves inside out to share with us their journey. Today, in the third episode of Soul Sunday series, I am so thrilled and excited to introduce to our guest Arvind Venugopal, who is already here in the studio. So, without wasting any more time, let's get chatting. Hello and a warm welcome, Arvind Venugopal, to our show, Soul Crafting with Tanushri. Absolutely thrilled to have you here today on my weekly Soul Sunday series. Arvind Venugopal is an engineer, an international musician, and a certified public speaker. Arvind started his life's journey in South India, in Chennai and Bangalore, and has spent the last 2 decades in the United States of America. He's currently in Washington, D.C. metro area. So, Arvind is joining us all the way from the US of A. He is a founder, vocalist, and producer of Washington, D.C. based world music fusion band Twameva. Since the band's inception in 2015, Swameva has published an album, released multiple singles, been a finalist for the Best World Music Album Award, has had music played on BBC Radio. Arvind is also the host and creator of a hot new podcast, Empathy Speak with Arvind Venugopal. The show is a medium for folks to learn more about empathy through conversation. Arvind, we are waiting to hear about you, about your music, your interest, and your journey. Please do share with us.
Thank you so much for the kind introduction. I think pretty much my the summary of my bio shared my journey so far from all the way from India to my life in the US currently, as well as projects that are very close to me and my passions. In addition to some of the things that I do day to day in my location as well. So from that perspective, pretty much that summed up pretty well. In general, I'd like to think of myself as a continuous and constant learner in life as well. So I hope I can keep evolving. I've heard a great philosopher or author, I should say that there are infinite possibilities out there. So at the present moment, these are what describe what I'm currently doing. So thank you so much for that introduction, and great to be here on your show.
Welcome, welcome, Arvind. So, Arvind, do share, like we were speaking on, I mean, backstage when before we started the show, you mentioned that humility, confidence, and deep work are something that really made a huge impact as you are growing up. Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Sure. I grew up in South India, where, of course, in a very loving family and a lot of wise people around me, and they have taught me a lot. And I would say one of the things I have learned is, if you observe people's behavior, you would realize that people who are usually humble are people who have a lot of knowledge and people who know all about a lot of things, or people who have accomplished a lot. So humility was a big aspect of growing up for me, and and I also went to a school where like I learned about concepts of humility and like practicing it every day. So I try to keep that aspect of my life intact. So being humble is an important value, I feel. At the same time, living in the US, nothing comes to you unless you ask for it in a broader sense. So you have to start developing your own confidence to a level where you can step out of that humility boundary and like go to an extent where you can serve yourself and you can actually serve the people around you. So you need that level of confidence. So building that level of confidence is an evolving journey. So I would say I always try to keep balancing humility and confidence in a way that I can navigate through life. And I also mentioned deep work because all of this is work on a day-to-day basis, and whether we are having conversations or whether we are having thoughts or any actions we take don't just have an effect on us, but it also has an effect on people around us. Our actions might inspire people around us which we may not know. So if we put a little bit more thought and work into what we do and how we do things, then it can have a great impact. So also think deep work is needed in all aspects of our life, especially on day-to-day things. So I try to balance these three things on a day-to-day basis as much as possible.
That's good. Arvind, you also, I mean, I think that's where your thought or idea of empathy speak came from. I believe that it's not just our ideas, our thoughts, but it's also about other people's thoughts and how we can blend it or kind of find an alignment with each other. Would you like to speak a little bit more about, empathy speak? You have been having this podcast that you started. What encouraged or what motivated you to have this topic to talk about?
Sure. Like I said, I grew up in a loving family back in India. So my exposure to dealing with people who I did not agree with vehemently, or like people who would not allow me to do certain things was very minimal. I went to a school where I had strict discipline enforced and things like that. But other than that, pretty much I did not have that experience necessarily. But as I started having more life experiences, and as I left home to become independent and like started dealing with the societies of the world, I started recognizing that people come from different life experiences and different backgrounds, and they're very staunch believers in what they believe in. Versus like so communications were breaking down, and people's especially last few years as the world has become more and more polarized with opinions and viewpoints, sustainability better, and I have felt that it is high time that people start talking about this and all the world. I think it is a reminder.
I mean, the world has shrunk suddenly in a year's time, within a year's time, in fact, within months. And we could really view, listen. What inspires you? I think a lot of things are going around us, and we kind of grow up with things which motivates us or pushes us to go to the next level. So, what has been your favorite quote that inspires you?
I think that my favorite quotes, everybody wants to see change in the world, and then everybody wants to actually make it happen, but nobody wants to do the work. I always feel like so. Be the change that you wish to see in the world is one of my favorite quotes. It's really hard to practice in reality, and sometimes we take this too literally. So we think that we have to really invent something, or like we really have to become the leader of a country, or like it has to be such monumental change that we have to make. Even if it is a minor small change that you make in life, or if you see something that you feel like should be changed and you're able to take a baby step towards it, I feel like that can make a huge difference. If you see someone not being kind to somebody else. And if you demonstrate in your own communication that you can show that kindness in your communication, it can inspire everyone around you, and it can have a ripple effect. So I feel like it's even in leadership principles, they say if you really want to inspire someone, you show it by action. So sometimes even if action is not possible, you show it in micro actions. That way you can keep making progress towards like a place where you see the actual change happening.
No, it's so true. Arvind, I agree to this. And uh, be the change first within ourselves, is then we can see the change happening around us. And the whole responsibility lies within us. Even in my work that in my line of work that I'm doing, I am also working on the same part, that the self awareness of who you are, what you can be, is much more bigger than what others can be for you. The whole change starts, the whole universe is within us. And if the change starts within us, we can see that reflecting outside around us. That's
Right.
a very inspiring quote for me too, and for our viewers too. So, Arvind, going back to a little personal question, how do you typically start your day, or end your day like?
I think especially in the last few months since the pandemic started, I've had to shift my routine like most people in the world. I've had commutes which I don't have anymore, so it's more important for me to remember to stretch a little bit. And of course, the first thing I love to have in the morning is drink water, because I always feel extra thirsty for some reason, and it also lets my body settle down a little bit. And also, like, I think calms me down, brings my breathing levels, like, to a consistent state. So probably stretching and drinking water would probably be like my daily guaranteed routine. And then maybe ending the night. Yeah, again, I my favorite drink, water. So I love water, and like I think most people would say that they like water, but I would say like water is my most favorite drink. And I would also try and keep a book by the bedside. It's no guarantee that I will actually read much, or even read at all, but like I like to keep some book where I feel like I can learn just a little bit, or like I can go through a little bit and then I go to sleep. So it calms me down as well. Sometimes, if a chapter is a little bit challenging, I go to another chapter so I can come back to like a better state before I go to sleep. So depending on what I'm reading.
Awesome. Arvind, you are an engineer, and also you pursue your creative passion, that is music. How do you bring that balance within you? I'm not talking from time management perspective here, it's more from mental and emotional perspective. How do you do it?
I think it's a great question because growing up in an educational system where we are always taught like you have to use the left brain for some activities and you have to use the right brain for some activities. It's a myth, actually, I feel, especially after I finished my education. The more time I spend in the real world, I feel like that's a total myth, because in everyday activity, it has to be a combination of your left brain and your right brain in order to have you function. Even if it is something completely analytical, you still need to have your creative juices flowing in order to give you certain clues in your brain. And then even if you're working on a creative project, you still have to have structure in mind. You need to have like a start timeline, end timeline. You need to plan your activity. You need to coordinate it in such a way that you know what you're doing or what your goal is. So there are certain aspects of being organized, or like using your left brain even in your creative projects. So that way I feel what I do with my analytical portions of my life, or like left brain functions, versus like what I do with my creative side of things, they help each other out in a way, because it keeps the wiring in my system more alive. I can use learning from one side and apply it to another, and I can take both sides to a higher level by balancing both. And there is in the definitions, while certain activities or like certain professions would be deemed one way or the other, I do feel like you can kind of keep a combination going so that you can keep both your analytical as well as creative juices going.
Cool. Yeah, I agree to what you said about balancing two parts, which is not really exclusive of each other. We have to have a blend of it in our regular activities, in our routine daily life too. So, Arvind, do you have any tip or small technique you would like to share with the followers so that they can blend it in their daily life?
Sure. I would say first of all, if you put your heart and soul into something, you're going to grow. I try to take lessons from people who do great work in the world. So a lot of people who do genuine great work, one basic value they all share, I feel, is they continue to remain humble. So I would say, like, no matter how big you grow into, always stay humble. And also, you cannot get to anything without one important thing, which is working hard. So I would say there is no substitute for working hard. So always uh, do the work and do the hard work, and it will eventually pay off. And the last thing I would say is, again, in communication, in action, in thoughts, um, be kind. I think there's always like one level of kindness that you can add on to your existing level of kindness. If you're already a kind person, you can boost up your kindness level to a certain level that other people actually start realizing that, oh, that is very kind of you, and then they try to remember it at the back of their mind. So I think being kind is also something that I would suggest, that it can help everyone, not just ourselves, and on how we view the world, but also in having that impact on other people.
Right, right. So fly high but stay grounded. That's very important, right? Because I think only a life experiences teaches us these things. It cannot come from any education system. It cannot come from listening just from somebody's mouth or from elders. It has to be experienced to understand that how important it is to stay grounded and centered. While we are saying this, it would be an honor for us to listen to you unplugged. So please do sing something for our listeners, our viewers, something that you really connect to, because I'm waiting to hear this part from you.
So I would say there's a new hashtag I discovered. I'll share that. It's called like a humble brag.
Okay.
It's called hashtag humble brag. So if you want to really brag about something, but you still want to stay humble, I know there are like lots of content out there which receive like millions of views. But for me, when I started my journey with my band, when I posted something on the internet, if five people listen to it, like my parents are two people, and then if three other people listen to it, I was so thrilled. So I would say, like, we made a music video with my band almost 2 years ago now, a year and a half ago. And yeah, I think as I was discovering ways of distributing it to my friends and like networks, we eventually published it on a YouTube platform, and we just crossed 5,000 views of that song, of that song's music video. That song itself has some background music and everything, but I'll just sing a couple of lines in just with Tanpura, and I'll just sing, like, it's a traditional Carnatic song, but the music video and the song from my album would be mixed with some Western music. But I'll just sing a cappella of this.
Sure.
Maru Kelara, Maru Kelara, Ora. ओ राघव मरुगेलरा ओ राघव रामा मरुगेल चर चर रूपा मरुगेल चर चर रूपा मरुगेल चर चर रूप परात् पर सूर्य सुधाकर लोचना मरुगेल रा ओ राघवा Rama.
So beautiful.
Thank you.
It was so mesmerizing. I did hear this on YouTube, and I really request all the viewers and listeners to go to Arvind's YouTube channel for his band Twameva and listen to this whole music piece that he has put together. It was resonating in the house, you know. My kid was doing something and my husband was working out there, and I'd put on this music and it was just reverberating in the house. It had such a positive, uplifting feel to this song, and I simply love Indian classical music, and the way you have brought it out, it really shows your passion, your love for music, Arvind.
Thank you so much. I just shared like a part of that song, but you know, like my band usually has all this instrumentation, and I produce the electronic music aspect of it. But always, I think it's the classical music behind it that kind of keeps us grounded, and then like we explore the bells and whistles
Absolutely,
comes from the other
absolutely.
parts.
I think just, I mean, listening without anything itself is so calming and relaxing. By the way, I would like to understand, what does this music piece mean?
So this song is actually a dialogue with God, and asking, uh, why is everything so mysterious, and why don't you reveal yourself to me? It's more like a dialogue, and it's one of the three saints who are instrumental in much of Carnatic music. They're called the Trinity of Carnatic music. So one of them is Saint Tyagaraja, Sri Tyagaraja. So this is one of the Tyagaraja's songs, which was written almost 150 years ago. So a lot of Carnatic songs are from 150 or 200 years ago, and they're in multiple languages. So a lot of Tyagaraja's songs were in Telugu. So this one was in Telugu as well.
Okay, beautiful. That's beautiful. Arvind, please share about your coordinates online on social media so that our viewers and listeners can get in touch with you.
Sure.
Would be great to get touch with your band coordinates, like how can people listen to your music, and also about how can people listen to you about Empathy Speak.
Sure, sure. Twameva Music is my band. It's called Twameva on Facebook, and it's called Twameva Music on other channels. So you can find us TVAMEVA. You can either search for that or Twameva Music, depending on the platform. You should be able to find us. And we usually post videos on YouTube regularly, so YouTube is a good medium. And when we publish songs, which is usually multiple times a year, they get distributed to all music platforms. So we highly recommend our friends and fans to subscribe to some music platform. So your subscription will actually allow us to support ourselves and sustain ourselves as well. And for Empathy Speak, currently we are publishing on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. On top of that, I also have a mailing list. So if you don't have any presence on social media, you can sign up at empathyspeak.com with your email address, and we'll make sure we send you weekly newsletters with the latest podcast episodes. And if you just want to go to YouTube and listen to the audiograms, they will be published on a weekly basis as well. So you can go there as well. And if you have any other platforms which you prefer, but we don't have a presence on, let me know, and I will make sure we have a presence there. This applies for both Empathy Speak and Tomeva Music.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Arvind, for taking out time from your busy schedule and joining us for the show. I enjoyed listening to your personal experiences and the music that you shared with us today. We wish Empathy Speak and your band Forever the very best for your endeavor and wish you higher successes.
Thank you so much for having me, and all the best for the podcast as well.
Thank you. Thanks, Arvind. So, dear listeners, the links to Arvind's online presence is in the description below. With this, we come to an end to today's Soul Sunday episode. Thank you for staying with us till the end of this episode. You can head over to my website www.tanushrinair.com to subscribe to my newsletters or connect with me on my FB page by the name Tanushri Nair. I'm there on Instagram as Soulful Living with Tanushri. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel, which goes by the name Tanushri Nair again, and subscribe by pressing the bell icon. Thank you for joining me on today's episode. And until we meet again, stay safe, stay inspired. You're all loved. Peace, love, and light. Your host, Tanushri, signing.